Welcome to the 2020 City of Baker mayoral debate. Tonight, the candidates running for office will answer the questions our viewing audience has sent in to help you make an informed decision in this very important election for the City of Baker. Sitting Mayor Darnell Waits, Joyce Burgess, and Leroy Davis will all share their views and insights with you, the viewing audience, and our studio audience. And now your host, Attorney C. Hunter King. Welcome to the 2020 City of Baker mayor.
King with the King Law Firm. Welcome to the WLFT City of Baker Mayor's Debate. We are live in the studio. Over the next hour, we're going to be talking to the candidates who wants to be your next mayor. Let's get started with opening statements. Candidate Dr. Davis.
Thank you, Judge King. And good evening, listening audience and citizens of Baker and those out in TV land and those on social media. I'm glad to be here. I am a candidate for the mayor of Baker, and a number of people have asked me, why are you running for mayor of Baker? And you've been the mayor of Baker. Because after about 150 people asked me to run for mayor, and about another 200 people complained to me about conditions and problems that they were having, I decided to run for mayor. As I indicated to you, I served on the council for 3.5 terms, and then that other half I became the mayor following Mayor Bobby Simpson. During that time, I had a lot of success, even though, as you recall, in 2001, 9/11 happened. So we had to marshal the people through 9/11, and even though we had 9/11, we had tremendous success as mayor. We brought in the Walmart Supercenter, which was a public-private partnership, us pledging some resources from Baker, which generated the largest economic development in the history of Baker. There was more than $40 million invested in the city of Baker.
Yes.
And so I want to bring it back, come back, and serve again so that we can reestablish economic development in Baker.
Mayor Watts? Yes. Mayor Waits, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Judge King. Listen, audience, I am Mayor Waits, and I am running for re-election for just a couple of simple reasons. We got off to a great start. We've done some great work in the last 3.5 years, and we want to finish that work. Economic development was our platform. Unity was a platform that we are and are willing to continue to work for. We want to continue to create the public relations for the city, continue to grow the city, and we're making decisions not for the next election, we're making decisions for the next generation. So we want to continue to move forward, move Baker forward, continue to make it, to expand it for the next generation of people that's going to live here. I am excited about the next 4 years. I want to thank you for all the support that you've given this administration, and we want to ask you to continue to pray for us as we continue to move forward. Thank you.
Ms. Burgess.
I'm Joyce Burgess, and I just want to thank God, thank my husband and my children. My husband and I have been married for nearly 45 years. He's loved me and he's supported me. We've lived in Baker for nearly 35 years. We've raised our children here. I've seen this city decline year after year, and I say it's enough. We've lost quality businesses, we've lost families, among other things. Our main roads are filthy, Groom Road, Highway 19, all of the thoroughfare that we travel. We've had to settle for anything coming into this city because our current leadership is desperate And we as citizens deserve better than what's been handed down to us. We are all concerned about Baker. I've heard your comments. I know you want Baker to look good. I've been here with you through the flood. I've listened to your concerns. I've visited and your sicknesses. I've comforted you when you've lost your loved ones. I've celebrated with you when you've had your births. I'm a Baker girl. We've celebrated our athletic team, our band, and our schools. I've shared Sunday morning church with you. I'm here with you now, and I'll always be here with you. So I know how you feel about the degrading of our city. Let's change this, because you know what? We are all working to be one, and what we want to do is make those things, bring back those things that made Baker Baker, and we want to reach toward the things that will make Baker even better. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to our first question. Dr. Davis.
Yes.
What new funding sources or grants will your administration identify to balance the city's budget? And what do you see as a major issue concerning the city of Baker? Economic development, increasing taxes, city services, budget cuts, streets, or crime?
There are a number of issues in the city of Baker. You asked a compound question, and I'll try to answer it in the time that I have. First of all, we have, as I walk through Baker, we've had the flood, but we have not recovered from the flood. And if you walk through Baker, you'll see a lot of empty homes. The homes have not been rebuilt. We still have a lot of vacant properties in Baker, businesses closed. So that's where I see the issue is. Now, as far as bringing resources to Baker, I have a close relationship with our governor. He appointed me to the Southern Board. We can bring to bear the resources from the city parish to the state government and the federal government. I had experience in bringing monies to universities over a 40-year period, more than $40 million.
Mayor Waits, do you want to respond?
I do want to respond to the recovery of the Great Flood. I just want to say that we lost 975 structures, 35 businesses. We lost our fire station. That was just really key, and we took water in City Hall. And we recovered from that. There's always recovery going on from any disaster, but we established a permanent certified shelter at City Hall. We renovated 3 wells, the 3 wells that were out. We renovated those wells and we brought them back. Now they're pumping water. And then we actually went out and we started a long-term recovery plan where we actually secured a hazard mitigation grant for other disasters so we can reduce the flooding in the future. So that's my rebuttal to that statement.
Ms. Burgess, would you like to respond?
Absolutely. One of the things that the city of Baker has a challenge with is our finances. Before we can do anything, everything hinges around our finances. And I know as it relates to this particular mayor and this mayor here, we have had financial problems and difficulties in the past. So before we can move forward with economic development or any particular budget cuts, we have to look at the finances of the city of Baker. When I served on the council in 2012 to 2016, that was something that I concentrated on, was the finances of our city as it relates to our yearly audit. And so having to look at that, the financial picture of our city, before we can move forward with economic development. But if you look at one of the main things that the city of Baker has is we have our families. And that is our first line of economic development, making sure that our families stay in Baker and making sure that our local businesses stay here in Baker.
Hold on, Dr. Davis.
Yeah,
Let me go to Mayor Waits.
I do want a rebuttal.
You want a rebuttal?
Yes,
Go ahead.
because she pointed to me.
All right.
First of all, I left Baker in 2004. I challenge anybody to go and read the audit report for 2004. It's still online. I left $14.5 million worth of reserve funds, unobligated reserve funds. Number 1 audit, We paved every street. We fixed every pothole. We revamped the city hall. We did the whole 9. And I also sold all of the vacant homes that were in Baker when I had a housing fair. Even people sold, one lady sold 6 houses in one day. So
Dr. Davis,
I left it in great shape.
Because we have to go to commercial break.
Thank you.
Check out audit 2003 as well.
All right, we're going to commercial. Welcome back to our debate with the City of Baker's Mayor's Debate. Mayor Waits, you have the next question.
Yes, sir.
What is the biggest misconception about yourself, and what is your motto?
Well, the biggest misconception about myself that people have about myself is that I'm just stubborn, I'm bullheaded. And that's the perception that most people have until they get to know me. I'm just passionate about what I'm doing at that particular time. That's my style of leadership. I love to engage everyone around me, but I do think that if you're in authority, you have the responsibility that you need to exercise your leadership. But I think that's the biggest misconception. And my motto is stay humble. I was always taught that you continue to stay humble and you get your ego out of the way, and then you realize that everything that you do and everything that I do for this city is for the city. It's not for myself. It's not how much pay I'm getting. It's not about getting out and being in the limelight. It's just about working hard and do what the people elected me to do.
Ms. Burgess, same question.
I guess the biggest misconception is that I'm a person who's had it easy in life. And that has not been the case with me. My parents taught me to work hard. My parents taught me to make sure that I value the things that they've worked hard to give the 5 of us, my sisters and brothers. And I value those things. So, you know, as I think about the children in our community, I want them not to feel that they're entitled to anything. I want our children to work hard and know what it's like to work hard educationally, to work hard in your community, to work hard and respect people. My parents taught me those things. So I've had to do all of that in my life to make sure that I'm the person that I am today. And with raising my 5 children, these are the same attributes and qualities that I passed on to them. So no, I'm not the person that has had it easy. My husband and I have been married for 45 years, and you know, we've been a stable family in the city of Baker. Matter of fact, our family loves Baker. We've been there for 35 years. We've been stable, so therefore, I want children to understand that you work hard and you'll always get something.
Dr. Davis, same question.
Yes, thank you. The biggest misconception about me, I need to ask my wife, but I think a lot of people think that I arrived as I am in Baker. But I spent many years becoming who I am. Starting work on a farm at 10 years old, working my way through college and working my way through university. And my motto is service. Service to my God, service to my family, service to my city, service to my state, and service to my nation. That's my motto.
Okay, thanks. Our next questions will come to you, Ms. Burgess. 2-part. What qualifies you to be a successful mayor, and what issues will you address within your first 90 days if elected mayor?
To the first question, I'm honest and I'm trustworthy. My word is good. If I say it, I will do it. If I find that I cannot do it, then I would say so. I'm energetic, I'm vibrant, I'm a person who believes in getting the job done. I know how to collaborate and network with others so that Baker can flourish. I'm not a bullcrap type person. I shoot straight from the hip. I'm an innovator, and I will use my connections to dig new wells of resources for our citizens who are the first line of service to us. I'm tenacious. I do not take no for an answer. I do not believe in the word I can't. I'm ready to get get to work. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work. I'm ready to make Baker an attractive, vibrant, and prosperous city for all who live here and people who do business here. I'm ready to be Baker's next mayor. And so in reference to your other question, I'm sorry, you're going to have to remind me of what that was again.
First 90 days in office.
The first 90 days in office, I will develop a committee that will look into the city of Baker and see those things that we need help in. So for its budget, local families moving back, economic development, develop this committee so that we can find out what it is that we need to do to make Baker roll and not keep on this decline.
Okay, Dr. Davis, same question, but since you've been the mayor, what qualifies you to go back into that office, and what would you do within the first 90 days if elected?
I was successful as mayor, and what qualified me to go back, I learned to be a councilman. I served on many boards and commissions before I became a councilman, and then I did it as mayor. Now, in my first 90 days in office, I'm going to roll out a 12-point plan, and that plan is going to involve every organization in Baker, and every citizen is going to have a chance to be part of listening and putting forth their ideas so that we together can move Baker forward.
Okay, Mayor Waits, let me ask you. You are the mayor.
I am.
If reelected, what will you do differently
What would
to
I
move
do?
the city forward?
What would I do differently?
Yes.
The biggest obstacle that we have right now is getting the information out to the people about what we're doing, and we will work on that hard. And we have a lot of projects and things going forward, but I had to learn how to get that information out. You just can't use one avenue, social media. We got to do better at getting the information out so that people know what's going on. The other thing is that when you put information out, a lot of times you have to make sure that it's information that people can understand clearly. And so I would do a better job on getting that information out so people know what's going on, so they understand. Like the 3 audits that we've had in the last 3 years. A lot of people don't understand that because they don't come to the council meeting. The last 3 audits we've had, 17, 18, 19, all been A ratings. They've all been good. The financial state of the city is good. A lot of people don't know that, so we'll do better with getting that information out there.
My next question will go to Dr. Davis.
Yes.
And dealing with the elderly, what services have you identified to assist the elderly in the city of Baker?
Well, I think that there are a number of needs for people in the city of Baker. One, when I was mayor, we had a discount for utilities for our citizens.
Yes.
We need to go back to that because some of the elderly are living on food stamps. Some of them are living on Social Security and ADC or whatever they have. So we need to help these people to find resources. We need to make sure we make our city services, our city facilities available for them at little or no cost that they can use, that we don't need to be charging because they don't have the money. So I think that's what we need to do. And there are other agencies at the state level, at the federal level, and in private foundations have resources that we can bring to bear.
Mayor Waits, what are we doing in your administration to help the elderly in the city of Baker?
Well, we renovated the Council on Aging. And so, and we renovated and we partnership with the Council on Aging so we can make that area right there better for them. We are in partnership with CATS so we can get transportation so we can get more people there so they'll have something doing something during the day. I would like to just ask Mayor Davis, because you really can't give away services and something like that when you're trying to reduce services, that's a council deal, but I don't know if we can do that because we've looked into all of that. that for our senior citizens. But you can't give away services like that. And so you just have to continue to make sure. Now, we do have, when seniors come in and they have problems with their bills and stuff, we have people that talk to them specially to understand their bills and what's going on. But I don't think that we can just give away services like that, reduce services for that.
Yes.
Dr. Davis, I know that was directed to you,
Yeah,
and then
right.
we're going to go to
directed
Ms.
to me.
Burgess.
When you fly on an airplane, there are people sitting in first class, there are people sitting in business class, and there are people sitting in coach. We're not giving it away. We're selling it at different price. We're selling it to them based on their ability to pay. That's one of the key marketing strategies. That's what businesses use. We talk about marketing. I have a PhD in marketing. So that's what we do. We're not giving anything away. We're selling them at a lower price that they can afford.
Now, can I rebuttal that just real quick? The deal is that we did the research in that. Here's what we found out. When we wanted to help those seniors that lives in those homes, a lot of the times the seniors not even living there and other people are living there. So if you do that, you have to have programs in place to make sure that the people that you're trying to help are the people that's living there. Now, we're talking about 6,000 users. We're talking about 14,000 people live here, and 2 to 3% of that are seniors. So yeah, understand what he's saying, but it's not as easy as he makes it out to be.
Ms. Burgess, your response to both of their responses.
And while they're debating the problems, I'm going to bring the solutions. Our elderly have fought the battle for the land that we now possess, which is Baker. We will honor and serve them. We will make sure that they are safe and protected in a peaceful community. A profitable and functioning city with walkable venues. I've talked to some of the senior citizens in our district, in our city, and one of the things they're concerned about is they can't get out and do simple physical fitness because they may not feel protected. So I want to make sure that they know that they are surrounded by a web of protection. I want to make sure that the seniors know that they have a utility relief fund that we can draw from so that they won't have to choose between medical bills or medicine as opposed to their fundamental basic needs. So I want to offer a utility relief fund for them. I also want to empower nonprofit organizations that are in the city of Baker, because maybe these nonprofit organizations may want to take up a project of caring for the senior citizens. They deserve that because, and I'm going to hit this and quit this real quick, we must attract young people to our city, because as we attract young people to our city, then we can enable them to help with the elderly as well, so for it's cutting grass.
Ms. Burgess, it is as if you were looking over my shoulder at my paper, because you get the next question, and my next question goes straight toward crime, and how do you attract new citizens if the crime rate is constantly on the rise?
Well, in the city of Baker, the crime has not quite been something that we really need to be concerned about, as much as I can see some things happening. But one of the things that we do is we make our city, we put standards in our city. And we make an excellent city where people who come there and want to feel like they want to do crime, they will feel uncomfortable with doing crime. I know in some of the cities that I've traveled across the country, these cities have put up excellent projects in their city where people with crime, they just don't feel comfortable that this is a place I would want to come and rob somebody. So we want to make sure that our city is protected. We want to make sure, working with our law enforcement department, to make sure that we're on one accord to know that. And one of the things I see in the city of Baker is having a policeman in each district that just patrol. That is his district, and he patrols that district. So we will do what we need to do in the budget to make sure that our policemen have what they need to make sure that the people in the city of Baker are protected from something simple as breaking in my car.
Dr. Davis, crime, and how do you attract new young people to your city?
Well, first of all, crime, that's the venue of our police chief and the police officers. So I would give them the resources they need and whatever else they need to bring in our state police, if we need, or our federal people if we need. So the job of the mayor is to give them the resources they need. On the other hand, I will encourage the chief to have a young person's program so that the police officers can get to know the students, the young people, and they would feel comfortable. Now, one thing that I did when I was mayor before was establish the Citizens Committee to the police chief. That was
Dr.
my
Davis,
idea.
I got to cut you off because we got to go to commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to start with the mayor in terms of his response. The mayor's debate for the city of Baker. I'm your host, Attorney C. Hunter King with the King Law Firm. Mr. Mayor, let's go back to you.
Okay.
Crime. How have your administration dealt with it, and what have your administration done with bringing in new talent to the city of Baker?
Well, dealing with crime, our police chief has done a great job. He is real community police. The areas that we knew that we were going to have problems with, a lot of the times the chief is already there. He's already working those areas because he's good community police. Now, when we talk about the kids and things that's going on, we want to bring that. We have several programs in place. I've always been an advocate of the school. We've always worked to make sure that the athletic programs go well together. We have a program that we started called the Chamber of Champions, where we bring the top kids out of the high school and we interview them for jobs to give them summer jobs. I was tired of kids coming from other areas of East Baton Rouge with those programs, and no kids from Baker was there. The activities that we have, all the activities that we have throughout the city, it's all family events that you can bring your kids in. But the biggest deal for our kids and bringing in new talents is the way that we act as adults. We have to learn not to be always combative toward each other. We always have to be good role models and able to do that. We have to have activities for these young families to come to raise their families and be able to do things. And that's what we're working on, these type of activities that they like to do.
Dr. Davis.
Yes.
Next question deals with the youth of the community. Also, I heard you indicated that you were on the board at Southern University. What collaborations that you use to bring new talent from Southern, Grambling, LSU, and all of the surrounding institutions in the state of Louisiana to attract young people? And how do you deal with the youth in the community in terms of giving them things to do during the summertime that keeps them out of trouble?
Yes. First of all, having served on Southern Board for 3 years, I give 4 or 5 scholarships every year or every semester to Baker students. Wow. And I've helped students get into Southern University. We have tripled the number of students who are at Southern University. I also work with the school district I attend the games. I help them with fundraiser. I'm a $1,000 contributor to the school district at least every year, my wife and me, and we participate. Also, there are a lot of programs at Southern University we haven't taken advantage of. Summer programs. I even bring my grandchildren down here to put them at Southern. So I would encourage and push the school district, the parents, to bring their kids to the university because there are a lot of summer programs. Some of them you pay a marginal amount, and some of them are free. So we haven't taken advantage of the resources at Southern, at BRCC, and LSU. So I would bring that to bear to the city of Baker.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Your response as it relates to Southern and the universities that are, I missed it, I did not include BRCC, but
right.
Certainly I want to include BRCC.
Well, BRCC, you know, we have a workforce development program that was started by the former mayor. That program is still in effect. We're working now to what they call to have that program that is partnership with the high school, because a lot of kids, when they come out, some kids don't want to go to college. Some kids want skills. Most of the biggest industries in Louisiana right now is being taught at BRCC. We do a lot of business with Southern University with our NOAA program, where we're looking at blighted properties. That whole law, that group of law students, they did all the work for us, and it was part of their training. And I know Dr. Davis knows this because they had to go to the board to get permission to do that. We work with them with everything, with the alumni. We try to bring it in and be a part of the city. They're only 15 minutes away. We're part of their the parades. We're a big part of their parades. That draws people. That draws young people. They see that Baker is there. Everything we do is based on Southern University. The young professors come in and have somewhere to live. They don't want big houses. They want condominium apartments. Everything we do is based on them growing with us.
Okay. Ms. Burgess, your response in terms of utilizing those resources among the universities and the young talent that the universities in our area are producing. How do you bring and attract and collaborate with those institutions?
That is your question, but are we still talking about the young people? Because I mentor 10 young ladies on a weekly basis at one of our local libraries. And one of the things I have found out, I have mentored these young girls for almost 3 years. And one of the things that they tell me, listening to their hearts, is there are no activities here in the city of Baker for us to get involved in. So going back to that question, I would like to train our future leaders with our young people, because one thing about millennials want to know that this is, if we live here, then there must be activities and functions in this city that are totally designated for us. So one of the things I want to do is have local coffee shops with Wi-Fi. I want to have horse trails in the city of Baker, working with Breck to have horse trails, as well as something that we're probably doing now, and that is working with bicycling and having bike trails in the city of Baker. I would like to have the businesses in the city of Baker to pair with a young person, where that young person can come in and work for your business. It could be a doctor, it could be a teacher, it could be a lawyer, but that young person will pair with that particular skill, profession, to learn that job, so that we can keep our children in the city of Baker. Another thing our children ask for is maybe a small theater. One thing I've seen across the country is theaters are not doing the really big theater houses anymore. They're doing small theaters, and I want to bring that arcades into the city of Baker, something specifically designed for our young people, and of course continue to work with Southern University, LSU, and BRCC, because as serving on the school board, those are the things that we do as of right now.
Mayor Waits, you get the next question.
Okay.
Regarding the school system, how can your office, and what have your office done in terms of working with the elementary schools, the middle schools, and the high schools to increase and better educate the youth of our community here in Baker?
Always been an advocate of the school system. Love it. That's my mom is an educator. My daughters are educators. What we do is try to be their best support. We understand some of the challenges that they're going through, and I've always supported everything that they have going on. But what we're doing is building economic development. See, when you build economic development, the school systems get a part of those revenues. And so we want to make sure that if we build enough economic development, they get the revenues, give them an opportunity for the school to come up. When the school comes up, then rooftops, people start building houses, more people come, more people go in their schools. And this is just a circle, and you have to work and support them. And that's what we do. We do everything for them. Their fields, we help, we support and everything, so they can do the educational piece. The city and the school board is one, but it's a different entity, and the mayor doesn't run the school board. I allow them to make their own decisions, but I support them all the way.
Ms. Burgess, how do you deal with and collaborate with the school system, though it is a different board, it's school board, but how do you work with that to better help and educate our youth?
I have served on the school board for about a year now, and I have learned through this time that we have 97% disadvantaged children in our community. Two of the things that our children and our school system need most: money and our great educational curriculum to educate our children. And so based upon that, education, so far as economic development, bringing more families into our city, building our economic development, making sure that our sales revenue is where it should be, making sure that our property taxes are where they should be. These are the things that we have to do, that I would do as your mayor, so far as making sure that our children have new schools, because the schools in Baker are 1961, 1967. And so it's very important that we get some new schools in our city. And we are rebuilding Baker High right now, and I'm very excited about that. We have the funding to rebuild Baker High. We're in the closing process right now of rebuilding Baker High. But you know what? It shouldn't stop there. We need more schools. And as Joyce Burgess, as your next mayor, that is what I will concentrate on, building new schools and make sure that our children have the educational things that they need to make sure that they can get a great education. That starts with curriculum. That starts with making sure that our children have everything they need as it relates to coming to school, and make sure that they have educational supplies, educational curriculum, new schools. And if you hear anything Joyce Burgess said tonight, we want to build new schools in the city of Baker.
Dr. Davis, same question.
Yes, let me focus on something you can do as a mayor. We have a good school district. We have good officials in the school district. We have a good superintendent. We have some good principals and some excellent teachers, and they're doing a very good job. And every year, their enrollment increases, and their numbers increase. What the mayor can do, the mayor has contractors who contract with the city. And if you go into the football stadium or you go into the basketball arena, you see very few businesses with a banner up there. Now, I have one up there. Waste has one up there. My wife has one up there. But very few of the businesses. So I will insist that if you're doing business with the city, you support our school districts. You support our school districts. You sponsor our Little League teams as well. And you have a banner hanging on the football field, and you also have a banner hanging in the basketball arena. And you also have your name and your shirt on some of our Little League teams. Our Little League team. That's how you keep them busy during the summer. Little League is how you keep them. And that's what we need to do.
I got a
I'm going to allow
because you owe me a rebuttal.
Mayor,
And
I'm going
I've
to allow
never
you
had
to
one,
rebuttal, and
I've
Ms.
never had
Burgess, I'm
one.
going to allow you to rebuttal also.
Okay, so they've been talking about sales tax, the three revenues. You got sales tax, franchise tax, property tax. These numbers, you can come look them up. It's 25% increase since our term has begun. Okay, so we're doing the things that we're supposed to do. We're not losing money, we're not hurting, we're gaining money. And we know every dime that the school board gets a little bit of that. Okay, we cut their fields for them when we need to. The softball team, because of the hotel motel tax that's for recreation, we make sure that that field is ready for that softball team so they have a good place to go. We're in the process of building a baseball field where our baseball teams can play and be tournament ready. That's for Baker High. We do all of this for our schools. But once again, you have a superintendent and you have a school board. Let them people do their job, and I'll do mine.
Ms. Burgess,
You
your
know,
response.
the school board does their job. And I don't need these gentlemen to tell us that the school board does not do their job. The
Hold
school
on a
board
minute.
does their job.
Hold-
So
Hold on a
therefore,
minute.
with the school board doing their job, that is no reason why all of us can't work together. And so far as banners across the school and banners in the baseball fields, what's important is that you are touching a child and you are spending time with that child. You know, I tutor children in our schools. I read to children in our schools, because at the end of the day, it's important that that child is fully educated to the most excellent way so that child can continue to be a leader in the city of Baker and not leave our city, that they would want to stay there and take our places. Because one of the things that we need in Baker, we need to continue to shape our new leaders, our future leaders, which are our children, so that they will stay in our city and not want to go away. You know, it breaks my heart when I hear our children say, "Oh, Miss Joyce, I've got to get out of Baker." And that breaks my heart, because I'm thinking, if I spend time with you, it is a good thing for you to stay here in this city. And I remember some of the children that I've spent time with maybe 6 or 7 years ago when I served on a council, and those children are gone. And maybe 2 of those children are back. So my goal is to make sure that our children stay in the city of Baker and give them the great education that they deserve.
Okay, we're getting ready to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the debate for the mayor of the city of Baker. I want to start with you, Mr. Mayor. Can you say something nice about both of your opponents?
Yes, I can. Truly, I can.
Absolutely.
Well,
I can.
whatever it is, can you say something nice toward them?
Yeah.
About them?
Well, let's start with Mrs. Burgess. Ms. Burgess, I admire the fact that she is about her family. She is a family person. I admire that. And the other thing is, she has a great voice. The lady can sing.
Okay.
She really can sing.
Thank you.
She
Now,
has a
what about
beautiful voice.
Dr. Davis?
Dr. Davis, he may not know it or not, but he is, I always look to his tenure because he's the first African-American mayor. I look to his tenure. I go back and look in the records of the things that some of the legislation, everything, because he's the first. You always go back to the first. So I respect him for being the first African-American mayor of the city of Baker and on the council, too.
Okay. Ms. Burgess, can you say something nice about your 2 opponents
Absolutely.
to the public?
Yes. I think Dr. Davis is a very astute man. And I appreciate the fact that he has gotten his education and he's gotten all these degrees. That is a major feat. And so I want to congratulate him on that. As it relates to Mayor Waits, I think Mayor Waits is a kind gentleman. I would like to continue to see the niceness that he has, and even if he asks me to come and sing again, I would be happy to do that. So I think that he recognizes good singing when he sees it, and he can tell when there's someone that can really sing. So thank you.
Dr. Davis, can you
Yes.
say something nice about your 2
Absolutely.
opponents?
I'll start with Mrs. Burgess. I remember when I was on the council and we used to have the mayor's prayer breakfast, Mrs. Burgess and Mr. Burgess would come and sing for us. And that's when I recognized her singing talent. And also, I admire her that she and her husband have been married 43 years. I like to see families stay together. Now, as far as Mayor Waits has spent 20-some years in the military, and he rose up through the ranks and became Master Sergeant. So he served our country. So I served, but I only served 2 years. I admire him for his service to our country.
Before we go into our closing remarks of our candidates tonight, I want to make sure everyone knows that you can still register to vote at Go Vote website. You have until March the 14th. Early voting starts on March the 21st to March the 28th, and the election is April the 4th. Remember, your vote matters. Let's go into closing remarks. Dr. Davis.
Thank you, Judge King, and also to the television station and all the participants here for coming out to hear us. Thank you for putting this debate on. Let me say, I got back in this mayor's race because people asked me. And I wanted to give people a choice. They can choose me because I have experience. I have the knowledge base, and I do things the right way for the right reason. One thing I can say about me, during one of my time in mayor, I didn't hurt anybody, I didn't demote anybody, I didn't fire anybody, I didn't do anything to anybody, and I don't have anything that I have to pray for or ask God's forgiveness for. So what I'm doing, I'm asking you to give me 1 4-year term. I didn't have a 4-year term. I had somebody else's term. That person had already hired all the people. So when those 3.5 years, those were not my appointees. That was his appointee. So I just like to have 1 year. And I had 2 council members who also ran for mayor and lost. I like to have a council that didn't run for mayor, that they want to be council. So they won't be trying to make me look bad because they lost the election to me. I just like to have 1 4-year term. On my term, let me make my appointment, and I guarantee you'll be proud of me. So vote for number 227, Leroy Davis.
Dr. Waits, closing remarks.
Well, I just want to say that I'm very, very proud of the work that we put in the last 3.5 years. We want to finish that. Our main focus will be enhancing the quality of life for the citizens of Baker. We will continue to do that if we continue to work on projects that will enhance and give us opportunities to grow, like the new water well and the fire station on the west part of the city to help. As the opportunity grows on the west part of the city, we want to be there to meet that opportunity. And we want to be able to attract new businesses, and we will continue to work on the city. We talked about the way the city looks. Well, all of the city doesn't look bad. We do have some spots in the city that we need to continue to work on. I suggest you go through Parkwood Terrace and Meadows of Shalua and Shalua. Beautiful places and other places in here. So yeah, we will continue to work to do that. I want to create opportunities, employment opportunities for our young people and people that live in this city. Secure grants to continue to keep moving forward so we don't have to take all that money and use it for the budget. Upgrade infrastructures. We've done that with all the roads. We want to continue to do that. And we want to develop those 2 economic development districts on Main Street and Plank Road so we can continue to bring businesses. And what I'm proud of most of all, that we can continue to bring the city together. Because if you look at this room, you can see that we have a lot of people that come together. Now, we're not eating dinner every night, Baker, together, but we are talking and working together. And that was the biggest deal. That's the biggest deal we want to continue to move forward. So vote for Darnell Waits, number 228, for re-election for the mayor of Baker.
Thank you, Mayor Waits. Ms. Burgess, closing remarks.
Thank you. There are 2 roads we can take to this election, the past and the future. We can't go back to the past, and we definitely cannot stay where we are. May I suggest a vote for Joyce Burgess is a vote for the citizens of Baker, and I encourage the citizens of Baker to choose Joyce Burgess. It's a vote for prosperity. It's a vote to flourish Baker. These 2 have had their chance. It's time for new blood. It's time for a new look. It's time for new direction, and it's time for new blood. This is our city, and it is time for us to take our city back. I am speaking on behalf of the citizens of Baker. I ask you to gather your entire family on early voting dates of March 21st through the 28th. April 4th is Election Day. I encourage you to gather your family and go to the polls and vote for Joyce Burgess. New blood, a new look. These gentlemen, as I said earlier, have had their chance. It is time to move Baker forward.
Okay.
May God bless you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Burgess. Thank you. Thank you. That concludes our debate. We want to thank the candidates for coming to inform our community about their platform. And to you at home, we want to also thank WLFT for hosting this debate. I'm Attorney C. Hunter King with the King Law Firm. And remember, your vote matters.
Hey. All righty.
All right.
Good debate.